and what meta they're going to use for the entirety of TI as well.
Absolutely. PSG LGD, this is a squad who has, the way they've been performing over the last few years has really elevated Dota as a whole. Faith Beyond has already won his own TI back at TI6 with Wings Gaming. Of course, nothing to say. Wants a little bit of revenge here. They came so close last year up against the side of Team Spirit. Anything less than being able to get at least to the grand finals, but honestly, it has to be lifting the ages once more. This is not just redemption for them. This is the final road for Faith Beyond. He has announced to the entire world that he wants to retire after this TI. There have been rumors floating about that Army wants to do the same. So I'm hoping that they get this anime power up of one last road, boys. We've seen what it can do for Team Liquid. They've looked amazing, phenomenal, since it is Matu's last run as well. So PSG LGD, all smiles right now. They know that they have the historical win over the side of RNG. They know that their ceiling is absolutely sky high. I cannot wait to see how this game is going to be panning out between these two juggernauts. I need some predictions though, Fluke. Where is this going? Before we get to the predictions, I have to just remind everybody that for the duration of day 3 of today's group stages, PSG LGD will be experiencing some penalties. We're going to be having in their second and third series some draw penalties in terms of the reserve time. And in this first game, they have no option regarding priority. So if they are going to be winning today, this could be an additional power for them, Fluke. The world is against us. We messed up, sure. We made a big mistake. We shouldn't have done what we did. But now we're going to try and show that we don't even need these advantages. We can still win no matter what the handicap is.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy for PSG LGD to be able to play their series today, as we saw when we looked at the group. All right now, and they're fighting OG and Team Liquid for an upper bracket slot right now. EG as well as RNG. I don't want to say comfortably at the top, especially with this series being able to be played in front of us. So I think the way this is going to be going between RNG and LGD, I think this is probably going to be a 1-1. Obviously, historically, LGD have been able to get the better of RNG, but this is a little bit different, right? Like, this is these guys playing on land, these guys are here at TI, these guys know that they've been kind of in front of the meta. I think RNG have been and really been able to show how strong these guys have been, whereas PSG have kind of had to reset after day 1 and now come back in day 2 and really try and get themselves to that kind of TI form that we've seen in LGD past. Surprisingly enough, though, talk about this, this LGD roster and the LGD rosters of the past. This organization hasn't lifted in ages yet. The crazy thing to me,
wild,
the amount of god tier rosters these guys have had, and even in the past 2 years, PSG LGD themselves have been in the grand finals, and they still haven't been able to lift the aegis. So if there's ever going to be an anime power up, it's going to have to be here. I really like the opening drafts from both these two teams, by the way. Here, Snare. To talk about the Dota. Finally, we're seeing teams utilize this Nyx Assassin more. I think it is a really good response to the Primal Beast. You can always stop the Pulverize, you can always stop the Trample, you can always stop the Onslaught as well. So it means that this Primal Beast is going to have to pre-BKB to come in towards the fights, whereas when we see these Primal Beasts take over the map, they really try and hold on to that BKB for as long as possible so they can get like a full direct Pulverize off, or maybe they can continue. I like this Nyx response, but I also like the Chen response. Getting this ball together, we see what these snowballs have been able to do. These death balls have been able to do over these last couple of days. And I think if PSG LGD get a few more of these heroes, they can kind of buff up one carry for Arme, and they can kind of just roll through the map and off they.
PSG LGD, I'm really loving the fact that they have opted to come back for this Chen as well. They've been trying to diversify their drafts as time has been going on. And we've seen that as well with Arme in particular. Anybody that doesn't know, Arme has played 10 different heroes in 10 different games, so well on track to try and be the person that really plays the most unique heroes here at TI. Of course, last year it was Yotoro that did it, and he lifted the ages, so there might be some correlation between these two things. Going into this game, I am very excited to see as well exactly how they're going to be answering the Shadow Fiend. We've seen several different methods of people answering this hero. The main one seems to be getting a hero that can go right up into his face, beat him down even when he's in an advantageous position, or just ending the game so quickly that he just never gets online to begin with. And if you're playing Chen Primal Beast, you are able to kind of do that. Yesterday we also saw that you can just dominate him in lane, right? Pure playing on the Shadow Fiend at like 13 minutes as like level 5 or something. It was pretty impossible to play. And we have seen that Primal Beast in the off lane can also be quite a force to reckon with. So LGD have versatility with this hero. We're still not clear exactly where he's going to be playing. I like the Broodmother ban, just to make sure that they don't have the Swarm hero that comes in from Chalice in the off lane.
Yeah.
What do you think it's protecting though, right, for themselves?
Turn to pig.
usually we see the Broodmother ban in response to things like the Drow Ranger and the Terrorblade, just because they have a harder time dealing with Broodmother. I feel like teams have started to slowly cotton on to this Pudge hero being able to be the response to the Broodmother. I wouldn't hate to see a Pudge come out for like this LGD, right, or even on the other side for RNG, because you come into these games where usually we see this Shadow Fiend being kind of end-all be-all, but I've really been enjoying what these teams are kind of second core idea. Wouldn't hate to see RNG, you know, go for something along the lines of like maybe sniper pick here, maybe sniper in the 18th pick rather than coming here in this first phase of the second pick. LGD will have 2 responses to it, so I would like to see RNG try and give them a second kind of hero to be able to play around, because Primal Beast has been one of those heroes. Isolate one of these cores, go in, try and catch the Shadow Fiend pre-BKB, trample on top of him, pulverize him up, and then LG kind of run over the rest of the fight. So they're going to respond with a Snapfire. RNG have been playing a whole boatload of Snapfire so far. We're talking about it before we came here onto the broadcast. Xnova's still probably a little bit mad about yesterday missing out on his rampage from the Snapfire. So if the... I mean, when they played this Nyx Assassin and the Snapfire combination yesterday, RNG, they looked so good. Like, the way that these two supports are able to roam around the map, the amount of damage they can do, just gives RNG that extra bit of aggression around the map, right? It just allows them to kind of walk around it, and now it's onto PSG LGD to try and figure out what their response. I see them have an active support as well. Obviously, himself, but I think they just need something else that can go in with the Primal Beast.
Radiant's turn to pick.
So.
Monkey King.
Monkey King, okay, all right.
This could actually be the offlane Monkey King, given the success we saw from him yesterday. So it's either the offlane Monkey King or it's the Shin-Q Monkey King, which is honestly as good as an offlane Monkey King to begin with. RNG already have the Kaka Nyx Assassin. Thinking about the Snapfire, they actually might have also picked this up as a deny pick, because as good as Xnova is on the hero, we have seen throughout the TI group stages that Snapfire has been a response to the early phase Shadow Fiend, being able to throw in damage from outside of the range of his Requiem, outside of the range of his Razors, so you always have some degree of threat, especially if you find some early lockdown. And I would not want to play into a draft that has access to pulverize into the Morty's Kisses. So it makes sense to me why they would pick this up when they did on the side of RNG. For LGD, we're going to be seeing with this next pick, I think, where this Monkey King is going. This could also be the army Monkey King on the side of PSG LGD, so there's a lot of flexibility with that hero. With Beastmaster coming out for Faith Beyond, does mean that Monkey King is probably going to be the Shin-Q hero. I would prefer to see this on him rather than on Ame, but it's also Ame. I'm never going to judge him. I'm never going to question what Ame God decides to do. So, but I do like this Beastmaster. It does feel like they have the makings of a buff-up lineup here on the side of LGD. Beastmaster Chen already. They have access to some auras. Whoever it is that's going to be the beneficiary of these auras is going to become extremely strong in this game for LGD.
Yeah, and I think that's where I was kind of leaning towards when I was talking about I want to hear that can kind of enable them a little bit more. I think Monkey King can definitely do that. Oh, the Pangolier had been left completely through. Okay, that's a little bit of a rough time now for PSG. Got the wall that's able to deal with the Rolling Thunder, but I just think that the amount of teamfight that RNG have right now, it's going to be very, very hard for LG. Let's go. We've seen what Pango's been able to do in the past. Rolling Thunder's really, really good at swashbuckles. With this kind of zoo that's coming forward. So they've got at least 2 heroes right now that can kind of wave clear. You've got Counter Blast as well as the Fire Snap Cookie. Is able to kind of burn through a lot of these creeps right now. Wouldn't hate to see if PSG they get rid of Chalice hero. So unless Chalice wants to play the Pangolier and the Somnus. There's still the Leshrac. That's floating around here for RNG. They've played a decent Leshrac recently, gives them that second kind of core idea for Shadow Fiend. You do have to be scared though of Primal Beast plus the Beastmaster. It's just a lot of lockdown and trying to deal with the Leshrac, and the only real save they have is the Fire Snap Cookie. So maybe LGG.
Dire's ban now.
Viper here. That leans me more towards a carry Monkey King. That MP doesn't have to deal with these kind of slow him down. He can give him a pretty bad lane as well. So it seems like to me that LG keeping themselves set up and then looking.
5 seconds remaining.
Fluke. Morphling is still in this game right now, and PSG LGD have the pick out of this phase of the ban. So since they have the 23, I wonder
Radiant's
if
turn
there
to
is
pick.
potential to try and shift this Primal Beast into the main Morphling right now. We have seen these Morphlings being able to challenge Shadow Fiends as well, and you do get to this point of the game where Shadow Fiend, once you get BKB, can't really do anything to you. And looking at this game, it just feels like a very good game for any kind of BKB carry.
5
Once you get
seconds
BKB, you just
remaining.
feel completely invincible in tandem with some of the aura buff ups on the rest of PSG LGD. So that could be a potential option for them. I'm sure right now PSG LGD are glad that this is not the game they have to suffer the reserve time penalty. They really want to consider and think about what this last pick could be. But what do you make of that if they do decide to go for the Morphling here? And if they don't, could RNG decide to snag it up? Is there even space for this hero with how their draft is operating at the moment?
Yeah, I think you lacking a little something for RNG. I think the Morphling probably might not fit all too well with them going into the Primal Beast. And after, like, it's hard for you to play this kind of squishy hero early on. They have good ways to try and lock you down. The Monkey Primal.
Dyer's
And
turn
trying to deal with this massive amount of heat.
has arrived.
The
โอ้ย
Dark
ไม่
Lord
มอง
like that's gonna be
แครี่
for PSG LGD, so it gives them a little bit more lockdown. They were lacking a little bit of this ways of trying to get a fight. They did have Primal Roar and the Onslaught, which was a good way for them to start some of these fights. And this just gives them a team to fight, right? Terrorize has been a really good ability that we've
5 seconds
most recently.
remaining.
Very, very hard for the Pangolier to play around a lot of the Bramble mazes and stuff like that outside of the role. And I think this also gives those picks Morphling here. It's going to be a very, very hard lane up against. Dark Willow can do a lot of work against Morph. Good low drop.
They kind of could play. I mean, we do have this Primal Beast available, so they can close down very quickly onto the Lone Druid. We saw it a couple times over the last couple of days. I wonder though, they do need some push potential, but if they do go with Lone Druid, it does feel like they're overcommitting to physical damage, and they won't have that much. They'll have the Shadow Fiend who will have to commit for the full magical damage route in that particular instance, but they do need push potential, so I could see it. And it's gonna be Jakiro. Well, there's the push potential that they needed. It's gonna come from Liquid Fire, and this is also a way to be able to de-push if needed, right? With this chain waves coming in. And it's a Jakiro in the off lane for Chalice. So the off laner here on the side of Royal Never Give Up, he's the one picking up the Jakiro. Okay, I like this. I like what I'm seeing. It's going to be a very obnoxious lane, right? Chalice on the Jakiro in tandem with the Kaka and Nyx Assassin. That is a lot of harass, but I suppose this is the option. They can't play the Venomounts or can't play Viper. They needed some kind of way to continue to put harass out onto Ame. So Ame's Monkey King, I don't think it's going to be happening at a phenomenal time in the laning phase versus a Jakiro in the off lane. How do you feel about this, the last pick Jakiro? And also, do you like the Manesca on the side of LGD? Which drop do you favor at the end here?
Like the idea of the
5
Jakiro
seconds remaining.
in lane, and I think this kind of sets them up for a single core lineup though. What I've seen most recently, it kind of, a lot of the times when we see the core lineups and you have these drafts from PSG, they've got these single target lockdowns, they've got the Pulverize, they've got the Primal Roar,
Game
they've
one
got
pa lang
Monkey
to.
King kind of single out one of these
Game one.
heroes. Thing is, like, Monkey King really doesn't have to worry about any of these other heroes. If he gets BKB since on his part of his Wukong's command, he has to worry about his Ghost and the Shadow Fiend. So if he gets pushed out of these team fights, if he gets pulverized, if he gets killed, it's going to be hard for RNG to deal damage in these fights. Chalice playing the Jakiro though, he can have a very, very good lane. I think that's the big thing. He is the port that we play as offlaners. He's got Kaka as well that's going to be floating around on the Nyx Assassin. So they've got a lot of kill threat early on. So I think if RNG can set Chalice up to have a really good lane, he can go in towards something along the lines where he can just go for like this early Veil of Discord. He can get his Aghanim Shard early on like a Yule Scepter, and they can play extremely fast with their heroes. Then RNG should have a pretty good game, but I feel like PSG.
ไม่อะนะ
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. This
Yeah,
PSG
man.
lineup just looks a
Dapat
little bit too cohesive, especially once this Monkey King gets BKB. At that point, you just feel like you bound across the map, completely unconcerned about anything that they can do to on the side of RNG. RNG kind of need to roll
Okay,
this. So we're
prediction
going to be finding
again.
out if they're capable of doing so up against a resurgent
Team who
PSG
places
LGD,
the
or if it's going to be
most
LGD
observer
finally taking a loss against the side of RNG here. Remember everyone, RNG has not won a single game against this iteration of LGD with their roster. So this is their chance to do it. And what a place to do it, Fluke, on the TI group stages. So let's get into it. Let's see if they've got what it takes to bring down the juggernauts of China for the first time ever with this particular roster. The one thing that I am scouting out in this game that is going to be quite interesting for me is going to be the item build that Ame goes for.
Number of smoke
Also, by the way, this is he's 11 and 11 now. 11th unique hero
okay.
in his 11th game. Shout out to Ame.
Yeah. Yeah, so it seems like Ame is
Player with the most
the value
siyempre,
prediction.
si-
We were having a chat before we even came about our predictions, and I said you could probably just put Ame in all of those categories, and it's probably a pretty safe bet. So Ame is definitely helping out everybody feel about passes. So. I do like the lanes they have here.
Offlane snap
See, you got baited. Can't go away from the Ame. Yadro is definitely getting close, but we're having a look at it
Ay!
and play GTR games. 100%. You can see the issue that Ame is going to have in this lane. There's going to be a lot of magic spare he's going to have to try and deal with. He does have a Chen in his lane though, so it's going to be pretty okay for Ame to just kind of, especially if he's able to ever get any of these stacks up. You've seen what happens with Jingu Mastery. In Countless Strike, you get it through an entire quick wave, and then you're back to full HP. So I think Ame should have a relatively okay time here. Just think have to be wary about the rotations that this start getting these early levels early on. They can move towards the mid lane. They can try and get Somnus into a good spot where they can take down Nate a few times, and they can transition to the side lanes and really kind of ball up without, like, you know. One concern that I have here for PSG, but I think their lane. Okay, most.
I'm kind of wondering if Chalice is going to end up buying Rank Pack this game or any kind of aura item. We've seen most of the success that Shadow Keys have is when their offlaner can buy those kind of items and provide that additional buff up. Obviously, that's not normally in the item route of this more core Jakiro. We normally expect things like Rod of Atos, but it would be an option. First of all, speaking of options, top lane, Jin Q and Faith Beyond. Woo! X-Nova, good luck, my friend. This is going to be not an enjoyable time. This is a lane that's just going to suck to play into. Master's going to get pretty much everything that he wants out of it. Ghost, on the bright side, shouldn't feel too threatened here. He should just be able to sustain himself, survive with the raises.
Par Raymond, shoutout ulit sa'yo. Par Raymond, makatangay pahutag. Pare, thank you. Laging pag-load.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is, like, Ghost is not going to be all too sad about this lane, and Faith Beyond is not going to be all too sad
Shoutout
about
din
this
sa
lane.
asawa ko, si Catalina Clarin. I love you.
Laning phase is going to be pretty static until the mid laners start to move around. Shadow King doesn't want to move all too much. Monkey King doesn't want to move much out of his lane. When you have this Jakiro hero as well here for Chalice, it's either you start to dominate the lane and you just want the lane take that power early, or you start to make rotations if you haven't really been best. So really going to be on these mid laners, nothing to say, as well as Somnus to see makes that first rotation with the first power rune, be able to set the tempo for their team. Pangli as well as Primal Beast in the mid lane have been these tempos. That's where a lot of the aggression is going to come out through.
Have we actually seen this lane yet here at TI? This mid lane matchup, like Pang goes straight into the Primal Beast?
I think we would have had to have seen it. We haven't seen it specifically, but I feel like that we've seen a lot of Pangliers, we've seen a lot of Primal Beasts, that it probably has been one of these matchups that we would have seen once or twice in TI. The Primal Beast definitely comes out on top of this lane. You obviously have the Swashbuckle to get away from the trample, but you do it nothing to save you. Every time that he comes into these fights, he knows that the Swashbuckle's on cooldown, he just gets the uproar going and he punches down from them. The reason why Primal Beast has been such a strong in that mid lane, because he can just do this to so many different heroes, and if you have no way of getting away from the trample, he's going to kill you. And if you have to get away from the trample, then you're misusing it. You have to use it to survive rather than getting...
So we're gonna try and exert some more of his influence in this mid lane. NTS top doing the same. The rest of the crew here, very, very nice and slow early game. Yesterday we had some bombastic beginnings for these series, but today it's the realization of what's on the line. You were mentioning it earlier at the top of the show that today is a day where you can actually go top of the group and more or less confirm your place into the upper bracket. So this is not the time for mistakes anymore. Both of these squads have a lot of experience. A lot of these players have a lot of experience with championship level games and know how to pace themselves too early. Down bottom, do you see that Ame has finished off the full over corrosion? So just gonna keep farming, doing his thing. Completely unconcerned with putting any harass onto Chalice. He's like, in a sense, that's on you, fam. I'll throw in a boundless strike every now and then for a token effort, but anything else, you gotta decide to do it.
Yeah, that's why I think this lane is starting to get a little bit hard here for Chalice. Oh no, speaking of... Do they get the body blocks?
Yeah, the body blocks don't connect, and Ame had already committed the boundless strike, has no points into the primal spring, so cannot keep the chase going on to Chalice. Chalice is like, alright, cool, we have to ferry in some regen, bringing in a mango itself. But he'll be okay. He'll be fine. Yeah. Well, I say that, but boundless strike is up again in 6 seconds. In essence, is a bit too far away, but Ame could still try potentially threatening Chalice. He's in the level 1 though, so kind of difficult to do. Yeah, he's already expended it, so Chalice is fine.
Yeah, he knows that if he tries to... Parker's going to have the Carapace as well as the Impale, and you can see now they're just putting the pressure back here on Parker. This is where it starts getting a little bit funky for both these laners, is the fact that Ame also has kill threat on Chalice, but Chalice also has kill threat back onto Ame, so if step in this lane, that's when it's going to start to explode. You know, sitting right now 25-7 on Ame, 17-6 for Chalice, so he's not having the greatest of times in this off lane, but relatively okay with how this is going. Ruined it to be a bit of a lane dominator. He's got level 4 down. It hasn't really been the worst of laning stages for Chalice, but it definitely hasn't been a shining star. So they at least get that transition. Once he hits like level 5 with the hit, get a few more of the levels in the breath, and that's when he can just start to abuse the Monkey King he wants.
You pay for what you've done.
First blood. X-Nova and Ghost are able to find themselves a quick kill onto the Lord Breaker. Try to survive with the shower, but here comes nothing to say. Maybe the first rotation from the mid lane. Holds not into the trample, brings down Ghost. Nothing to say, finds himself a very nice rotation coming in from the mid lane. And oh, look at this as well, the cheese. He has access to a bottle, and as soon as Shinkyu respawns, comes back for the refill. So you don't even have to lose out on any of the bottle magic. Bottom lane, Chalice forces a TP, but cancels the TP after he realizes that he's not actually in danger. It's like, wait. He actually can't do anything. He's fine. Be careful. The steps of Kaka will return. And they're also bringing in Somnus on the Pangolier. They have access to the Rolling Thunder. I'm not sure if they put the vision on him. Looks like Ame had an idea that something awry was happening. Got himself into the trees. Somnus finds himself unable to connect with this rotation. This is always the best here, Fluke. When you move from middle to a lane, as Nothing to Say did, you get a kill. Your lane partner tries the same and fails to make any kind of impact. You do end up losing the life of this Faith Beyond Beastmaster in the top lane, but the way that this game is going, I think LGD overall will still take it.
Yeah, obviously their rotation from Nothing to Say was nicer than what Somnus's was. They weren't able to.
Unti lang lamang, oh.
Bond's kill there onto right now, it is looking pretty good for both these teams. I think they're wanting to see what Chalice and Kaka do. They haven't really made any rotations yet. They haven't been able to link up with Somnus either to try and take down Ame. It's all about, you know, what they're able to do when they start to group up. They've still have to wait a little bit for us to get a few more of the items and getting towards that Mask of Madness, and they need to make sure they have good responses to Nothing to Say as well. Ame, bottom side.
Now there's Carapace, but even better is the Ice Path coming in from Chalice. Literally mid-animation for the Boundless Strike.
Yeah.
Stops him in his tracks. Ame can do nothing about this. Chalice is like, I got you, buddy. We can keep bailing each other out of trouble. If they position correctly between the Nyx and the Jakiro, with pretty much no kill options at this moment, it's GLGD, unless they bring in a rotation from the mid lane. Speaking of the mid lane, how is Somnus doing? He's a little bit behind the pace of their network of the Primal Beast to be expected since Primal Beast connected with his rotation and Somnus didn't, but still doing okay enough. How do you feel about this early diffusal play that he's going for? It is normally the mainstay of these mid Pangoliers, but in this game, feels okay, but I would have liked maybe an option for a Maelstrom, considering it will be playing into the armies of the Chen and the Beastmaster.
I think it's a good decision. Nonetheless, they also have other ways of dealing with the creeps. They've got the dual breath. They're gonna have the Macropire. They're gonna have like the Impale, and at the end of the day, to try and deal with it. I like the fact that he's decided to go for something that's a little bit more teamfight centric. Obviously, a lot of the heroes for PSG LGD,
A little something
mana,
extra.
Faith Beyond, not just there, as well as Arme. All heroes that need to have some of their mana, and if he gets burnt by the diffuser play, then it's too hard for them to play. I like that he's made the decision. I wouldn't have hated either way. I think Maelstrom forward. Is that a solo?
Dies solo. Yeah, it's a solo kill. He got pulverized. Nothing to say at level 8. Finds Somnus in the jungle. He just straight up kills him. Oh my god, that is just horrible. Top lane though, Primal Roll committed back onto this X-Nova Snapfire, and they should be able to bring him down. That is first usage of the Primal Roll top, just as Ghost gets bounced away from this lane. And not a moment too soon, because nothing to say. We're trying to connect with the rotation onto that side of the map as well, after killing Somnus.
Same as you,
So things are really starting to pick up for the side of PSG. They're going to push out on the top lane. Somnus though, will use Rolling Thunder for the first time in this game to look for a kill onto Innocence. Nothing we can do about that one. This is so unfortunate. He took an arcane root after that kill. Would have been nice before the Rolling Thunder so he could try to take down bottom, but he's still gonna make that rotation. Atheon has brought down the tower in the top lane. Chalice and bottom is in danger. Brought down by Arme, who just solo kills him. Arme took a lot of damage from the Morty's kisses, so needs to be careful for him. Shield crash will be out. Next Nova able to burst him down with the scatter blast. So Arme brings down Chalice, but Chalice has done his job by softening him up so that they can bring him down with the rotation from the rest of these heroes.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he gets a kill in a 1 versus 3 is a fairly good shout there for Arme. Obviously, the rotation from Somnus that gets killed there onto Innocence, and then they transition that into a kill against Arme. I think PSG are perfectly happy with how this is going. Oh, no, Chalice.
Mid lane, pulverize onto Chalice. They would be happy if they can get this kill, but unfortunately, Jakiro a little bit too tanky. Still alive for now. Atheon is here, but with nothing to say, had a little bit more mana. I think Chalice might be feeling more threatened. As they bring in reinforcements, Ghost wants to show up as well. They just want to clear out these waves, prevent the tower from going down so early. Even with the Macropire, regrettably, they had a siege riding here, so it's still going to go down early. But look at this. Stop coming in from the Centaur Conqueror. Enables nothing to say to just go in for the fight. They bring down both Ghost and Chalice and the tier 1 tower in a short span of time. How did they not see that Centaur, but it connected at the same time as the Terrorize? Great plays coming in from the side of PSG LGD. And now they are looking a lot stronger than they were like 90 seconds ago. They're just starting to pick up the pace here, Fluke. RNG is struggling to deal with it at this point.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a brain fart, I think, coming in from RNG. They looked at the Centaur. It had about 50 HP as well, so they were like, no, this is perfectly okay. But you see the combination that comes in for PSG LGD, the wall stomping combination with the Terrorize. 2 heroes get caught by the onslaught, they get trampled on top of, and bam. We've got 2 of these core kills going down early on here. And PSG LGD, they're starting to tighten the screws on RNG. Map is starting to get smaller, and really looking towards RNG. I think they should try and group up as 5 heroes. I'll come together. I want to see them be able to try and get some of these team fights. They've got a lot of magic damage. They've got a lot of really good spells. Yes, they're behind on the network, but they're able to combine their spells, things like Ice Path and Requiem of Souls. Don't have access to that just yet, but Ice Pass into it's like another Fire Snap cookie, Mortimer's Kisses, and then the Rolling Thunder on top. They can definitely kill some of these heroes, because once this starts getting later and later, the BKB is going to come online for nothing to say, as well as Arme. And in these fights, don't really have to worry about Chalice, don't really have to worry about what XO is doing. And that's when they can start to win these fights. So RNG, they're just trying to hold on to their map right now. Lost 2 of their tier 1 towers. They still have their offlane tower as well. So it's not the end of the world for them just yet, but they need to try and hold on until Ghost can start becoming scary in these team fights.
Also becoming a bit of a problem that Chalice is starting to really fall behind all the other cores in this game. Nothing to say, having a phenomenal performance, about to pick up the BKB already, and we've seen the strength that this hero can have with the early BKB. They're going to congregate together around this tier 1. Might decide to smoke up, and indeed they do. Going on an adventure, boys. Where is the target? Will we try to connect into the jungle, or are we looking for an early Roshan snipe? Looks like the option is to go up the hill. They have some vision here, thanks to this Beastmaster Hawk. Scouts out Kaka, but they also don't really want Kaka. They want to be the target, and they're gonna find them. Somnus is here, going right into the Bramble Maze is there. There's gonna be the Pulverize, and the damage is out with the Bedlam. Shinkyu finishes him off, and Somnus dead again in his own jungle. That's the second time that he dies, and the second time that he dies in an area he thought he was safe in.
Yeah, what a sick combo. Jinkyu being able to predict where Somnus is going to go. Bramble Maze walks in, terrorize on top, just secure the kill, and then nothing to say, just walks in and does Primal Beast. PSGLGD are really showing the prowess of these heroes that they've got. I like the combination they have as well, the terrorize in combination with things like the Pulverize. It's just able to give this Primal Beast a little bit of this extra safety. We've seen it a few times from a few of these teams, just utilizing these extra support heroes that are able to mean that the Primal Beast can get a free Pulverize off. Primal Beast.
But now, both the Shinkyu get a somewhat easier kill. They'll allow this to happen. The Chen all heal will come out. It couldn't the Shadow Realm to buy time. Rolling Thunder is the input Somnus. They haven't been able to bring down Shinkyu just yet. The final kiss from Morty will do so. But here comes nothing to say. Looking for revenge. Onslaught all across into the lane. Trapples him down. And with the Pulverize, they should kill the Snapfire. At the same time, Primal Roar did come out onto Kaka. Not enough to kill him just yet. North of the fight, Army actually brings down Chalice all alone. I want to engage into these heroes that are starting to fall lower and lower. Onslaught connects onto Kaka. And then Ame isn't able to get himself a double kill. Somnus is scouted, but he does have access to the Swashbuckle, so it's a bit of a difficult kill. Nonetheless, PSG LGD yet again. This was supposed to be a move that came in from RNG. They started that fight, Luke, but LGD is certainly happy to finish it. Now they'll be rewarded with an Aegis for their efforts as well.
Yeah, PSG LGD are just playing these team fights like really well. They're understanding what spells they need to be careful of, what spells they need to be playing around, and their spacing is insane. The way that they're playing around these fight characters, the way they're playing around this Jakiro, they're just kind of like going in onto RNG, not fully committing, waiting until these big spells like this Spike Carapace, Rolling Thunder, Ice Park have been utilized, and then that means that nothing to say as well as Arme kind of have free reign in these fights. And they're getting towards a point now where RNG, they're trying to team fight their way back into it. You just see that the net worth really isn't there. Where you're having a Jakiro in your offlane really starts to feel bad for RNG. They had something along the lines that had a little bit more of team fight, obviously the Nick was banned, but some of these offlane heroes like Namaz or a Centaur Wall Runner, or maybe even Axe or something like that, that it just allows you to have that instant initiation and try and catch one of these, blow them up. Feels a lot better than what they've got right now. If you understand why they picked the Jakiro, does really, really well in these team fights. You just get rid of all of these summons, but yeah, RNG right now, they're definitely behind the 8 ball, and it's going to have to be big heroics coming in from Ghost, and Somnus can definitely carry. He's played up now, there's nothing to say.
Yeah, the smash out from Kaka here. He tries the scouting, but ATS unfortunately has BKB turning around. Things out Somnus. The Pulverize is going to be out as well, and Somnus is dead to rise. He's already gone. Shadows jumping in Ice Park, hoping to try and buy space to escape, but he's being chased right now. Nothing to say. Gets a double kill onto X-Nova as well. On the strike, holds Kaka in position. Here comes Ame. There is no quarter here as he picks up the BKB. And Kaka has gone as well. Each of these fights and these skirmishes seems to lead to 3 RNG heroes dying. And unfortunately, this one will be no different as they lose more. This time around, yet again, they were making the forward movement. They were going for the jump onto NTS, but they died off way more than they can chew. They get eaten alive by the Primal Beast.
Yeah, LGD just instant response, right? As soon as he saw that nothing to say was there, he said, alright boys, we got BKB, box his BKB, they take back around and then just get 2 extra out of the back. Somnus. It's a little bit unfortunate for him. He probably didn't want a Rolling Thunder there as well, hoping that he can try and get out. His Swashbuckle was just off cooldown. They come in straight away. They do about half damage. Oh, it's another fight already.
Another fight already. This time around, Somnus will come with the full Rolling Thunder. They interfere with the Requiem. The combo finally coming good, but NTS, he's still not dead. He gets to the far end of the fight. Uproar keeping him up. His Arme drops down the Wukong's command, and they're able to completely decimate RNG. They've already lost Chalice and X-Nova. Somnus might be next. Swashbuckle to the high ground, but Arme with the movement was ready with the Primal Spring. Prepared for the Swashbuckle, prepared to kill him. And the Pango goes down. Yet again, 3 heroes fall as LGD They are just everywhere right now, and everywhere they're winning at the moment, Fluke.
Yeah, LGD are just winning every team fight, no matter if they get Requiem, no matter if they're constantly getting rolled through it. Well, there just isn't that much damage that RNG have. You can see this is kind of the first rotation that Ghost has made here for RNG, and there's a nice Requiem, nice use of the Shadow Razors as well, but just PSG a little bit too far ahead. These heroes are oh so tanky. You can see how hard it is for them to kill nothing to say. Like, this is the reason why this Primal Beast is in the position he is, right? Because this hero is so tanky, there's so much damage early, wins his lane, and just takes over the game. Gets a BKB, now he's going to be heading towards the Kyron Sun, pardon me, and then it's going to be even harder to try and kill nothing to say right now. So RNG, they just need to try and wait until the next couple of item timings. They're getting close to it now, until they've already started to fight.
The fight is starting again though. This time around they are able to kill nothing to say by bursting it down with all their magic damage. Chalice though will suffer for this almost immediately, as so will X-Nova, who dies almost solo to the Beast Master, but now Ame out of his BKB. He's going to end up losing his first life. They have access to the chain nearby, but no all heal, no mech. So if they can catch him out and kill him, Ame will be in danger, but RNG not feeling their strength anymore. They want to back off. Somnus misses the swap bomb. Huge bounces like into the terrorize coming in from LGD. They burst down Somnus as LGD literally every single time 3 kills. That's the bare minimum. They always get it, and they really tried their best on RNG to try and stop that fight, but Ghost, unfortunately, not strong enough, and he doesn't have a BKB himself, so he couldn't charge headlong into the fight on the second life of Ame. It looked a lot better than it has been for the last several minutes, but it's still not good enough from the side of RNG.
The worst thing about that as well, Snare, it was 4 seconds until Requiem of Souls came off when Ame was from the Aegis. So if they had the Requiem of Souls there for that second life, you would just see Ghost channeling it out. He's going to blow up Ame. They're killing twice, and that would have been a good fight here for RNG. You can just see in the backline, X-Nova gets roared. He's just going to cop a whole lot of that damage from the summons, and losing 2 of these heroes straight away is never good for RNG, but this combination of the Shadow Fiend as well as the Rolling Thunder means that these team fights can really start to work out here for RNG. You can just see that Ghost had to back out there and wasn't able to connect with Somnus in that second. They've proven the concept. They can kill nothing to say. So they can kill the Primal Beast, but it's about how many times can they kill that Primal Beast without losing literally everyone.
So what did it take to kill him? He took what? Macropile? Ame? Okay. I don't think he scouted that Kaka's there. But Kaka will let Ghost know that, hey man, this is probably not a safe place to be right now. He's jumping in these trees. Get the hell out.
Tower is
Wise decision to be made. PSG LGD just gonna be looking for this tower. They take it so fast. Beastmaster Aura with Ame. They got the drums as well on Faithian. Well, they're not gonna stop this train even without having access to the Aegis. They can feel their strength right now. There's no reason whatsoever to back off RNG. They will go for the smoke themselves with the Snapfire, hoping to maybe try and catch up, but they realize, we have to come for a straight up defense proper down this bottom lane. They're just going for it. This high ground, I'm not sure they're that strong. They're pretty strong, but that might be a bridge too far, and indeed they do back off.
Yeah, you can just see that nothing to say is just kind of playing around the triangle. They've got the gem now on the Primal Beast.
Dire's middle tower is under
They finally have the BKB on Goso. So this is go time here for RNG. They're just going to try and clear out this creep wave. They've got 4 people smoked up here. Maybe trying to bait Somnus a little bit. Chalice in the backlines. If this Jakiro is not getting caught on directly by the monkey, I think Chalice should be okay to be able to get just multiple rounds of these spells out, and the rest of RNG can try and mission going. They hit a nice little last path. They hit a little Macropire as well. So Kaka
got scouted. They saw him under the sentry. They know where he's at, and they have a gem like you mentioned on NTS, so very easy to be able to scout this Mix Assassin. They also have this Beastmaster Hawk that they send close to the triangle. You'll see that Ghost is that side of the map, and Ghost is there. They have a little bit less to worry about. Is going to be the big damage dealer for the side of RNG. The one thing I'm still worried about though, Fluke, this SF, compare and contrast Ame. When you look at Ame half the time, his tooltip is just maxed out. A bajillion auras, buffing them up and making him way stronger than he would be otherwise. First of all, Ghost is pretty much just playing this game by himself. It's him against the world, effectively at this point. The Silver Edge will certainly help when it does arrive. But all that RNG is doing right now, the rest of the squad besides him is buying time. They drop that Macropire top to clear out the creep wave. Just time and space is all they care about.
Middle tower
On LGD to try and put the tempo though, to deny RNG that particular time and space. And as we keep saying, we've seen the Shadow Fiend come back from disastrous situations and still carry a game.
to take the plug.
They smoke up now. Yet again, looking for a target. But they lack vision on this map. It's very difficult to know where to go. X-Nova. Some of these creeps from the Beast Monster. Kaka gets scouted. Oh, Kaka's gonna get brought down. He's still alive, actually. Gets forced out after the fire snap cookie. But unfortunately, the jump in from the Primal Spring will be able to bring him down eventually. They've already committed the tail right in the bedroom. Here comes Ame. Inside the Wukong's command. Somnus goes in with the rolling thunder. Gets himself out of the Wukong. Requiem was pretty good from Ghost, but unfortunately now, BKB popped by Ame. They've chased down and killed Chalice already. Those BKB will eventually expire. When it does, he's in danger. Somnus doesn't have a BKB of his own, so he's in danger right now. As Ame gets the kill. Yet again, it's a 3 for Fluke. And RNG just cannot catch a break in this game number 1 versus PSG LGD.
You can just see that Ghost understands that it's very, very hard for him to get into these team fights. Even with BKB, he didn't feel confident about walking forward and trying to get a bit of this damage going in. And was stuck inside the Wukong's command. He threw out a nice Requiem, so they at least caught Ame for a little bit. But as soon as Ame pops BKB, they really don't have any damage to try and kill him. You can just see now that PCOG, they understand they are so strong right now. 15k net worth lead ahead. They've got this Chen army. They're going to walk in with Beast Master Auras as well. They just sent out Ame on the front side. And okay.
They run up. He's not going to be there until they have the damage to follow up on this. Hurricane coming in from Innocence to get Ame out of danger here, but it's not going to be enough. Somnus finally able to finish him off. A godlike, beyond godlike streak ended there. And that's a lot of gold given away to this young Panda here. The question is, will they get more? Somnus trying to go in with the Rolling Thunder. He's held in place with the Primal Roar though, as Nova jumps into the fire snap cookie. Nothing to say, charging up. He wants Ghost. He wants to try to bring him down first. But he's forced the TP out, so he's taking too much damage. BKB will protect him and allow him to escape. As Somnus leans up on the end of the fight, bringing down Shin Q. Buyback was in from X-Nova because they recognize that now Roshan is up. They need the little shredder to minus the armor with the Ghost Aura as well. They should be able to claim this one. And they know for a fact that they do not have to worry about the Dark Willow or the Monkey King. However, MK does have buyback, but at this point they feel like it's going to be a little bit too late. And RNG might finally catch their break, but you know, we don't know. A lot can still happen. Kaka fading out some spells here. MTS was going through. The Requiem will be there to protect the Aegis Snatch. They won't give up the life of Kaka, but hashtag work at this point. BKB TP out from Ghost. Chalice will have forced off soon-ish, but doesn't caught with the onslaught. He's going to end up getting brought down, unfortunately. Watching a double kill towards Innocence. And Somnus is being body blocked in. He's stranded in the middle of nowhere. The Pulverize will be there to bring him down. X-Nova almost died to the Bedlam. Gets held in position by the Cursed Crown. Ame will have Primal Spring coming very shortly. He sees him. He knows what's up. He's going to get this kill. And this time, it's not going to be 3, it is 4. They get the Aegis from the side of RNG, but in retrospect, probably not worth it to lose 4 heroes. But if you give away the Aegis, you just lose the game instantly anyway. This is the worst choice ever. Sophie's choice from the side of RNG. And unfortunately, RNG is still coming up the own ways no matter what you decide.
Are they actually going to lose the game with Aegis the other way? That's probably going to have to be a first for me watching the game. I don't think the game's going to be over just yet. They're still going to have one more fight in them, but getting that Aegis and, oh man, Somnus getting
Shoutout sa'yo, Mark B. Laudato. Thank you.
1 second away from getting his one.
Small little ravage coming in from Kaka again. Catching the 2 most important kills with the Imp, and unfortunately they can't keep the lockdown going. Kaka already gone, and they hold Somnus in position, right-click him down. He's able to roll to safety for a second, but Faith Beyond throws in access to deny enemy escape. Ghost now is the one that's in danger. Kaka goes again with a pretty big Imp, but goes into this first life, so there will be no Aegis available for him. Terrorize goes in, catches X-Nova, sends him back, but can still throw someone in kisses. Oh my god, the damage inside the Wukong's command onto Ghost. Way too much from Ame. And although they rain down the kisses, the game is already over. RNG have called GG, granting the victory to the best team in China. PSG LGD take the initial dub here, Fluke. It looks like RNG's hopes of
game
getting
1
over
pa lang yan.
LGD, getting one over
Game
their
2
regional
pa.
rival. It's not going to be a 2-0. If they get any win, it's going to have to be an eked out victory in game number 2, because this version of LGD looking like they're back to their best.
Ano maganda panoorin dito? Boom, OG, Liquid. OG, testing. Mukhang malakas tong Hokori na to eh.
En contra, destaca rápidamente porque viene el kill spree. El fantasma colocado ahora por quien se podía lanzar, pero nada, simplemente.
Ata OG oh. Hokori na siya eh.
Dire have the spyglass at hand.
Allies disappear.
Carry, Fruit Mother. Kakaiba talaga.
Throw a
itong
line
pag-iisip
to
ng
Radiant's
OG na
middle tower. It's sinking, just like your ships. Radiant's middle tower can't handle this deluge.
Game 1 lang din to, OG versus Hokori.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Diba?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower won't last long.
Smart money.
Dire's bottom tower couldn't withstand the tide. Dire's middle tower is under pressure.
¡Ja, ja, ja! ¡It's working!
The prize is mine.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
Illusion.
Vanish.
Dire's middle tower is drowning. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is drowning. Dire's
na yan,
middle tower
Yuragi.
has fallen.
OG ako dito, OG. Bayan. Ay!
Dire's top tower needs some friends.
Same as you, Giant Hunter. Radiant's core is grounded in blood.
about to take the blood.
I'm building a
Dire's
future
top
without
tower
you
is
in it.
under attack. Dire's top tower is gone. Bounty. Dire's top tower is about to take the plunge.
What's this? Dire fortified their structures?
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is about to take the plunge. Dire's top tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under pressure. Dire's middle tower just got knocked down. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle barracks have fallen. Well, that's rich.
Yun, GG agad. Umihi lang ako eh. Oh, talo rin ang boom natin, no? 1-0 din. 1-0 boom, Sony. Malalaglag ang boom. Liquid tayo. Ay. Gana pala, liquid. Halo boom. Oh, buntal din ang liquid ah.
Por ratos.
Matsu didn't want to pop out. He was waiting it out. They got a nice stun. He comes out, just immediately gets feared by the right click from Boom
Gaming Gladiator,
and just dies. Yeah, it almost seemed like Mickey was going to be able to survive a lifesteal, but
this is the Ursa versus Lifestealer matchup. You know, we mentioned.
Yep.
It is a factor in the mid game. Oh my god, look at focusing on the matchup here, just wide-eyed.
Just like your ships.
That smile.
Yeah, with this kind of network deficit, I don't know what you're gonna be able to do in these team fights. Getafin's an absolute monster now. Ursa, we've also seen really struggling to deal with him.
As you mentioned, this is Liquid in full comfort mode. You know, these are heroes they're very happy playing with, but Gaming, I mean, this is what happens when you have a full season playing against each other, playing in the same region, scrimming against each other. Like, these teams just know each other so well.
Yeah, I do think Liquid have to be kicking themselves a little bit for how that bottom fight went, but a huge credit to Gaimin in terms of how they were able to. They were getting sieged, buy the Aegis, and still Duracho with all the confidence in the world to just backstab the team fight, force Liquid to take it, and they got caught between a rock and a hard place a little bit.
Yeah, I almost feel like Liquid kind of, I don't know, outpaced themselves in that bottom fight where they were kind of just trying to go in, go out, you know, play some really high tempo, high execution team fight there, but with the Enchantress just throwing spells at them, you know, it's almost like sometimes you just trying to play all these like different mechanics in the game, and there's just Celery throwing spear at you the entire time.
Yeah, pretty much.
So much damage.
Yeah,
it sounds stupid, but
the way that they've played these fights and the way that it was working for them, like especially in that first fight around the Roshan pit, was being able to reset after the BKBs. But as the game has gone on, it's proved to be really, really difficult against the Pit of Malice and the Glimpse and everything else for Liquid to make these plays where they're forcing BKBs and then kind of still getting out intact, right? Foxy's succeeded in forcing BKBs, but every single time he's paying for it with his life, and yeah, Liquid do need that additional stun to kind of keep the team fight going afterwards.
And in your opinion, how much impact is the Underlord having in these team fights?
I think it's a lot, but it's hard to see. He's just kind of one of those heroes where like the atrophy aura is very difficult to actually feel the impact of when you're just looking at it, but all of this aura stacking that he's doing, I think, is a big reason why Mickey just doesn't look that scary. Like the Lushrak is running into the middle of all of these heroes, but they've got the pipe aura, they've got the Wraith Pack down, and so Boom and Duracho are able to just stand their ground and deliver the damage.
I think it's especially hard for Marty, right? Because does Rage get rid of the atrophy aura?
Good question.
Pretty sure it stays on.
Yeah, Pierce's spell immunity, yes. So yeah, it does work. The Wraith Pack doesn't. So the Rage is still, useful, but the atrophy aura is kind of a pain.
Yeah, that's what's proving, like, giving Marty big problems in this fight, I feel like, because he's got so much damage, but you see him in fights, he's just like a kitten with no claws.
It is only base damage reduction, so all of his itemization, it's not too much of a problem against, but yes, they are making the lifesteal look not very scary in these fights between their force stabs and all the survivability that they've managed to pick up.
Gaming. 28k gold advantage, 29k gold advantage, 28k gold advantage over Liquid at the moment as they control the map. They're gonna farm up this whole thing. Liquid, is it go time?
20 seconds on Aegis. Maybe they try and make a move then. I don't know if they're close to any other items. The progression has kind of stalled out. They're once again trying to make this Matu and Boxy save the world, infest, gank play. If they can spot anything up here, get the waves out a little bit longer.
Yeah, just utilizing the ninja gear, the movement speed, the smoke. But alas, there's no one to be found, so Boxy's just going to take these creeps and probably TP on home.
Yeah, the lane pressure shouldn't amount to too much against the... If they really need to, they can just send Underlord back. Or they can gate anybody to top, and then they can clear it in. So... Just buying a little bit more time. I really like the way that they're playing it. They're not being too greedy, they're not splitting up on the map, they're just keeping everybody all together. They know that they've got a huge lead. Can probably just continue to nurse it from here. It does start to feel like they're just outscaling the side of Liquid. They're desperate to find a pick-off to start one of these fights.
Yeah, Hex just picked up by Ace here. They might not be expecting this. Underlord is going to have some fight impact beyond just laying down auras.
This Enchantress is so farmed. He's got 18.8 HP. He's gonna give him a little longer. He's gonna overtake Matsu as Zai dies.
Yeah, Zai just gets mauled to death. That's just gonna be it. Just the one pickoff, but still a pretty important one.
Foxy and Matsu have to be getting so frustrated. Like, can you just split up and farm, please? What is going on here? There's nobody to be seen on the map. Matsu just gonna pop out and get some ancients for himself.
Yeah, no, Gaming just best friends, you know. We saw this in a few series now. When this far ahead, just stick together, hold each other's hands, you know, feel the love. There's no reason to be out alone, Rambo, power gaming, you know, just enjoy each other's company, connect with one another.
There's been plenty of games that we've seen where like a huge lead, one guy gets picked off and suddenly it just snowballs into a turnaround. I'm loving the discipline here from game. I do wonder what they're thinking of as like their condition to go high
Just
ground.
of how much they love each other, you know. That's all that's on their minds. They just throw it out.
Just more items. We're not even going to see the arcane blink from Boom. He's actually just going full right click, looking at this rest thing. But they found Matu.
Okay, Rage out, trying to get away from this one. Doesn't TP though, he can't. There's a Basher Ursa behind him. Matu's gonna have to play his way out of this one, and does make his way over towards the tree. They don't keep an eye on him too fast with the Rage movement bonus speed, so he gets himself away.
Up to this play, they're gonna have the outpost for like all of 5 seconds, but it's something. Anyone? Any outpost enjoyers? Okay. hit the camp first. Ace is on the case. Feller just waiting for the rush. Only an 18-second respawn, so pretty quick. Seems like that's what we're waiting for. Might be good for Liquid because they're likely going to try for a smoke right as the rush on Windows starts.
Oh my god, Insania. He has got to go Scepter, so he's going to survive through the right click of Boom, but Boom, he's tempted to go for more here. They do actually catch out Tofu on the stun, but that's not a target you really want to initiate upon here, especially not up to the high ground, so they will concede this area of the map to Gaming for now. They want to come back, they've got to do it under the guise of a smoke. Meanwhile, their lanes are just constantly being hammered in, so they need to deal with that one.
They do have one smoke left. Gaming have already scouted out the fact that Roshan's respawned. Would kind of do or die play for them, but the Roshan's gonna just drop so quickly. I don't think they're not even gonna make it anywhere close. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Ace making very quick work of this. They're actually
like, guys, don't worry, your first take is here.
Look out for fire!
Cheese, refresher shard, anybody? Any takers? Okay. Tofu's gonna grab those. Hold on to them for the team. I am a little surprised that they chose to give the Ags to the Ursa over the Disruptor, but
yeah,
maybe less important this game. Nah,
there's no way. There's no way. I think Disruptor Ags is always just... He's got Nocturne Core as well.
Yeah, it's like if Sriracha really wanted an Ags, he could have just bought it for himself, right? He's got plenty of net worth.
You can fast, but Tofu cannot. He's got one little lightning orb to try and get himself 4,200 gold. I mean, to be fair, he's close. He's actually... Jump in. Shadow Fiend's been fine. So maybe not the target they want to go, but they will be able to take him down. So no more hits on the side of Gaming Gladiators. Dracula as well. He's not the BKB, so he's not going to be able to get much money to go into this fight. He's going to be able to blow up Foxy with the Refuge. That boy's never come out from the side as well, but he might get a good out here as Dracula looking for targets, but now he's running out. He can use the 4-star away from this one, trying to use second and break match. He's looking for a target. Going to start eating away at Ace here. Ace so down tanky, and also Tofu is there just to land a stunning storm out onto the lightning. Don't think the Wind Waker there. I think he'll toss back onto Matu to keep him safe as Liquid. They make this fight work for them. Only Boxy going down and buying back and immediately looking for more, using this Ninja Gear to try and find someone who's split off from the pack.
Amen, gotta be careful. They're not here. Everyone's going to the gate.
Try and go for him. They have the damage though. The Shadow Fiend, he is very tanky. He's got to take Shadow Control. He's going to start pounding into Boxy to heal himself back up again. Now Jet over top towards the Tiny. Tiny is gone. Leg wreck as well. Out for the counter. I think Matu might be in similar trouble here as he gets eaten up by the side of Gaming Gladiators. 3 heroes dead without buyback on the side of Liquid. Make it 4, and there it is. The GG's come through. Wow. Gaming Gladiators. I mean, I did not believe. I didn't believe it all, but I'm completely wrong. What a game from them.
I was a huge doubter of the Underlord, but there you go. Gaming Gladiators make it work. They get the farm. Yeah, look that. Liquid were never. Yeah, look, they were never that far ahead, but they did really. Like it looked really difficult when they went for that bottom fight. Maybe they were feeling under the pressure. Maybe they were looking at this, the Ursa and the Shadow Fiend heading into the later stages of the game and just feeling like they were not going to have the tools to deal with them. Dyrachia kind of itemizing his way out of some problems this game. The Venomancer was supposed to be the counter, but.
Later in the day, so we will not be joining.
Way to deal with it, but I would say Nature's Prophet's going to get out on the better end of that trade a lot of the time, right? Just because I still think the Treants don't give anywhere near enough gold for the amount of work that they're able to do.
I think a lot of
search for the sniper and get him. And otherwise, I thought they had ideas of like picking a different carrier, right? Something that that blinks on top of you. So like the Spectre, the PA. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Like you can even go like a Lycan or something. Obviously, you need to do it smartly. There was an Enigma.
We've seen the Lich has been some teams' responses to the Marcy so far. I think we saw on day one when we were casting PSG LGD versus Quarry, that was their answer. Seen a couple of other teams go for it as well, just like taking a look at other streams, but I haven't seen like how if it's been as successful in the lane or just the game overall.
Yeah, I think it's more for the game, you know, just all that physical damage. Able to counter out something like the Marcy with all that physical. Eye of the Storm, even though it looks like it probably should be magical, it's physical damage and reduces the armor as well, so there's double synergy there. I do like the fact that they're now looking to target a bit more towards Nightfall's hero pool, assuming that this might be an Arteezy Razor coming through. I mean, Fly has been playing a lot more of the melee aggressive styles of position 5. You know, we saw Ogre twice yesterday, we saw the Sven this time around, so this might be just a Razor Marcy in the safe lane too. It's not 100% confirmed, and it would dodge that Nature's Prophet lane you were talking about before.
Yep. Yeah, that is a really big advantage here EG have. All their cores very, very flexible, a diverse hero pool.
And they've shown that Abed can just, you know, again, carry from the mid lane. Doesn't need to be on the TA, could be on a hero like the Lina, which we've seen drop off a little bit. Maybe you don't want to do it.
Hero na, tapos na. Ano yun? Oo, bakit? Meron na. Grabe, tapos na pala tong LGD. 2-0 agad. Ang bilis naman.
Hokori's turn to ban.
Radiant's turn to ban. Ten seconds.
5 seconds remaining.
The Dire get a ban. 10 seconds. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant's turn to ban. Ten seconds. 5 seconds remaining.
Game 2, OG, Hokori.
The Dire get a ban. Ten seconds. 5 seconds remaining.
Razor to. Razor.
Here's the Radiant ban. Radiant's turn to pick. Dire's turn to pick. Earth Spirit. Seconds. 5 seconds remaining. Dire's turn to pick. 10 seconds. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant's turn to pick.
Brood Mother. Uy, Hokori naman ang nag-Brood Mother. Hokori.
Seconds. 5 seconds remaining.
Anong oras na, ma? 11:30? Grabe, tapos talaga agad, oh. Ayan.
Dire's ban now.
Alchemist.
Seconds.
5 seconds remaining. Here's the Radiant ban.
Boker. Pwede invoker sa OG.
Seconds. The Dire get a ban.
Ayun, naban. Sila pa nagban pala. Pares palang mid-hero na lang ang iniintay.
Seconds.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant's turn to ban.
Seconds.
5 seconds remaining.
Dire's turn to pick.
Mongolia, ban. Admiral.
Seconds.
5 seconds remaining.
Ban na pala pa. Void Spirit.
Radiant's turn to pick.
Zeus.
Jesus. Storm Spirit, pwede rin. Wala masyadong panghuli tong Hokori.
10 seconds.
5 seconds remaining.
Choose your hero.
Game 2, OG Hokori. 1-0 sa OG. Caster talaga sila. Pinabayaan ng OG. First player to get 50 last hit.
Prepare for
Boyd.
battle.
Boyd ako, Boyd. Player with the least death. Least death. Boyd din, Boyd. player to be killed. Oh, ang hirap naman yan.
Finally came up for air.
The most observable reward in game end. By game.
Weapon attack! Yeah! 30 seconds to battle.
Wala talagang caster.
Easy, easy mission, Easy, easy mission.
스캔 돌려야 된다고요.
At last, the battle begins. Thunderous applause.
Hmm? 终于等到你。
有没有神之一钩？有没有神之一钩？You know what's cooking? Boom!
I was practicing my backstroke.
What's cooking?
Set in stone. Denied.
Radiant's courier just drowned in a pool of blood.
스캔 돌려야 돼요. 스캔 돌려야 된다고요.
Even I like a good bauble. Bounty.
Sinama.
No good. Mount. Your people rise to catch me.
Hate set in stone.
Blood will avenge me.
Thank you. I shall reconsider your worth.
Saan mo na?
Dire's courier just went belly up.
Ay, double kill to. Double kill, ah. Double kill, ah.
Radiant's bottom tower faces a stiff wind.
I return. Dire's bottom tower is about to flounder. Dire's middle tower is under pressure. Dire are scanning for enemies.
Radiant's bottom tower is staggering.
Like a drunk sailor.
Radiant's bottom tower faces a stiff wind.
Radiant fortified their structures. Attack the heroes.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Kahit ano na lang, ma. Bala ka na.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yo.
Radiant's bottom tower has rung its last bell.
No.
Tuyo, tsaka itlog, ma.
Uy, ako yawan.
Your time is lost.
Radiant's middle tower is under
OG
attack.
na naman to.
Throw a line to Radiant's middle tower.
It's sinking, just like your ships. Dire's top tower needs some friends.
Same as you, Tide Hunter. What's this? Dire fortified their structures?
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is about to take the plunge.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Patay ka na, sus.
Radiant's bottom tower faces a stiff wind.
Ay. Ay, isa, good mother, oh.
Dire's top tower is about to take the plunge.
Hindi, tinabagan. Yan, ganyanin mo na lang.
Dire's top
Chrono.
tower is under attack.
Chrono. Ikaw na lang. Ang kulit mo, Misha. Ikaw
Dire's
na lang.
top tower has fallen.
Ikaw na lang.
I guess they took it personal.
Wala si Amar Lado, hindi lumasama.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Amar, makaramdam ka. Ba, mahirap yan. Nagsosolo.
Dire are scanning for enemies.
Na nga. now.
Radiant's top tower is on the rocks.
Ethereal na. Bilis naman ito.
Radiant's middle tower can't handle this deluge.
Ayun, hindi. Tapos. Tapos yung stun. Yung gulong.
Why not you?
Big jump.
Dire's top tower is about to take the plunge.
Could have had your ways back, but I always pick my spots.
Swerte nung ba? Nice!
To the narrow maze with you.
Hey, how you going?
Kayo dyan.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
What's wrong?
A raid using echolocation. Dire's middle tower is drowning.
Jesus. Swerte pa, nakatakbo si Jesus. Amar, makaramdam ka. May chrono pa yan. Radiance na si Ultimate.
Dire's middle tower is under pressure. Bounty.
Galing ah.
Dire's bottom tower won't last long.
Dire have the spike.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Uy, patay ka na naman, Toy.
I always like creepy frogs.
Okay, yan naman, makulit yan eh, nakakaipon na yan eh.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. My path leads to riches.
This is my shout.
Pusin nyo na, OG. Kakain na.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning for enemies.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Bounty killing.
Okay, talo OG, oh. Tugos, oh. Ano na?
Dire's middle tower is drowning. Dire's middle tower is under pressure. Roshan's pit be a lot safer in the ocean. Dire's middle tower is under pressure.
Mirrors of my delight.
Dire are scanning for enemies.
Ay, tigilan talaga yan, ha? Makulit ka, ha? Makulit kayo, ha? Makulit ka, Boyd, ha? Kongro mo yan. Kongro mo yan, ha? Makulit ka, Boyd, ha? Nice! Makulit ka, Boyd. Simsipin mo. Makulit ka, habol ka ng habol. Kanina ka pa, eh. Paisa, oh. Backup nyo. Sipin. Kala.
Dire's bottom
Ito lang.
is about to flounder.
Boom.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Gano'ng maasin ni Boy
Radiant's middle tower just healed over.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Kasama. Wag na yan.
Dire's bottom tower won't last long.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Fortified structures can't be breached.
I could. Dire's bottom tower is about to flounder.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
Dire's top tower is about to take the plunge.
Radiant's bottom tower faces a stiff wind.
Illusion. Dire are scanning for enemies. Didn't you hear me telling you to throw it?
Kulit ni Amar, binabago yung kulay ng tubig. Okay, OG set.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is about to take the plunge. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Radiant's middle tower
Wala na pro yan, oh.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
For enemies.
They're trying to bring down Radiant's top tower. Radiant's top tower is on the rocks. They're trying to bring down Radiant's top tower.
I'm not opposed to taking the occasional bounty.
Regeneration! Dire's middle tower is under pressure. Dire's middle tower is drowning.
Mali prediction, mukhang apoy bukori. Ay, malam, patay agad. Chronom na yan. Ay, wala palang chrono to. Nananakot lang to.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Ang nasinayang yung AG. Bagay, nakuha naman yung shard.
They're trying to bring down Radiant's top tower.
Radiant's top tower just got sent to the bottom.
Really, Tidehunter? Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower faces a stiff wind. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Dire's top tower is about to take the blow.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Dire's top tower is about to take the blow.
Radiant's bottom tower faces a stiff wind.
Dire's top tower is about to take the blow.
Radiant's middle tower can't handle this deluge.
Dire structures are fortified.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning for enemies.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is drowning.
Radiant's top tower is on the rocks. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Swallowed up by a bigger fish.
And then
They're
by
trying to bring
me.
down Radiant's top tower.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is about to flounder.
Not quite as slow now. What have we here?
Item ni Rod. Ah, Sonic. Ano kung makakapalo ka, Amar? Ayan na, salubungan na to.
onion, I'll throw it. Dire's middle tower is under pressure.
Nakapromo kayo dyan.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Nakaw, kulang-kulang kayo. Malis muna kayo.
Dire are scanning for enemies.
Yan, dalawa.
Dire's middle tower is under pressure. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is about to flounder.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
Huli na naman yung BBM, boy. Ay, wala nang chrono yan, oh. Apno. Yan, talala. Oh, eto pa. Yan, talaya. Takbuhan mo na, oh. Okay, yan, men. Relax lang. Tayo dyan. Woo! Tignan na nga lahat. Double phone yung...
Immortality? Work for both of us?
Get better.
Dire's middle tower is drowning. Dire's middle tower just got knocked down.
Diretso yan, diretso.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's courier has been killed. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is drowning in the spawn.
Walang chrono yan. Time walk lang yan.
Dire's middle barracks have fallen.
Meron na.
Dire are scanning for enemies.
Meron ng chrono. Pressure. Tagal pa. Tipo ng pang-buyback.
Illusion.
malayo. Razor, pati nito. Ayan o, static link. Attack. Napatak. May gold na pasip-sip yan. Iyak na alam nila na game na. Alam nila na game na, kaso di Amar nagso-solo. Pakto na. Dalawa tuloy na chrono na naman. Lakad pa na lang. Ubusin. Kasi ni BBM talaga, oh. Ano? Diba? Hirapan sila dito talaga.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Kampante si Yuragi. Hinahanting ka nito.
Radiant's middle tower can't handle this deluge. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Nice! Huli! Huli ang Singkamas. Diving na tayo. Ay, hindi. Hindi pala. Nahuli yung Singkamas.
What are you waiting for?
Push na, push. Push na, wala yung ano. Push.
Radiant think fortification could save them.
Pasagin, pasagin.
Under attack. Dire structures are fortified.
Ako mo naman, BCM eh.
Dire's top tower is about to take the tower is gone. Dire's top barracks have fallen.
A team that gives up their barracks has no wrong.
Dire are standing for enemy. Illusion.
Ang kunat nito. Ang item system.
Thank you so much.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
Someone should help Dire's top barracks.
Okay, tapusin ko lang ito mga 10 minutes na. Stay mo na ako. Ka naman, nag-solo.
To restore the void within.
Paktuloy yung BKB. Ito na laban nito pinahirapan ng all talaga.
Dire are scanning for enemies.
Dapat sa TA itong bukurin na ito. Okay, pa 25 ka na. BGM, walang yan mid ka. Ano ulit? 25 na. Talo na to simulate to save. Bagal pala pumalo ng Chrono eh. Nakalog lang na ng Chrono malakas. Kaya nga, ilunahan na nga. Huwag mo na yan. Namin, walang damage ng Chrono. Ay, nakuha yung Aegis.
I will see you.
Nakuha pala yung Aegis. Ay, Iragi oh. Boom! No, watch cooking. Boom! Kaya lang, inuubos ni Amar isa-isa yung mga support. Unti-unti eh. Sinipsip. Yun ang ginawang tanga yung Void. May buyback naman yung Void.
Dire's top barracks are under attack. Dire's top barracks have fallen.
Well, that set their game plan adrift.
Ganing. Naman, nagtalo na naman. Ayan, nag-buyback oh.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
wash under the blade.
Yung laban na yan.
Middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower cannot withstand. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower just keeled over. Radiant's middle barracks have fallen. Radiant's middle barracks are taking water. Radiant's middle barracks have fallen. Radiant's bottom tower faces a stiff wind. Radiant's bottom tower struck its last bell.
Radiant better raise a defense for their bottom
They're running full spread in Radiant's bottom barracks.
One. Guys, mamaya ulit. Thank you. Kain muna tayo.